So we are now into the month of July, and that means it is time for another cottage garden tour. I'm going to be taking you on a full tour of my cottage garden this month and taking a look at everything that is blooming, giving you some updates on what I've been up to in the garden and more. So let's jump straight into this. By the way, I'm trying to hit 3,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, consider subscribing and supporting my channel. I would really appreciate it, and hopefully we can reach my goal. Now, I'll admit, originally I was a bit hesitant to do this tour now because I wasn't sure if enough had really changed and grown since the last video. But then I looked back on my tour for the month of June, and it's actually crazy how much more is up in flower now compared to that time. So I don't want to miss this opportunity to show you so many cool new things that have come up into flower, you know, before they start kind of looking a bit more straggly and such. So I thought this would be the perfect time to give you an updated tour of my cottage garden. First of all, I just want to show you my clematis, which is clematis, I think, giant star. It's gone so crazy. It's in this absolutely massive pot. Ignore all the mess over here. These are the bits of the videos you generally don't show, but I wanted to show my clematis and just how crazy it's growing. I bought this actually at the RHS earlier this year. It was RHS Wisley in May, and yeah, it's just going absolutely mad. So I can't wait eventually for this one to flower. I also want to show you my little planter of alpine plants, which I think is looking good. They're all growing really well in here. I have lots and lots of little pots and planters around the garden, which I'm going to try and show. I also do want to address some feedback that I'm going to try and work quite hard with, and that's that a lot of people have said sometimes I do move the camera around a bit too fast and it makes them a bit dizzy. So I'm going to try and go a bit slower this time around, just to, you know, hopefully make things a bit better for those people. So hopefully you'll notice a difference. If I do make any little fast movements, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. I'm definitely taking all feedback on board, but you know, I can't be perfect. So why don't we start right at the front here. The Nepetas are still looking really good. You can see some of the flowers are starting to go a bit brown now, but I have done some strategic cutting back on them to, you know, allow them to come back a bit more later on with some flowers. This is just one plant and it's just gone absolutely mental, but that's exactly what I wanted. I don't really like those Nepetas when they're in a perfectly sculpted shape. I really like them to be sprawling and going over the path and stuff. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So I'm really happy with how they're looking. Now, one of the most exciting things in flower, and I have, I believe, 3 of these plants at the moment, is currently the Verbena rosia. Now, this one is like the Verbena bonariansis. It's a little bit less tall, probably just kind of maybe 6 foot, just under maybe. And it's got these beautiful flowers. It's got the very similar sort of pinkish little flowers that the regular Verbena has, but they're a little bit more dainty, and the stems are a little bit more thin. You know, it's a really interesting plant. Here's another example of one that I really love. I just think it looks so good. So I'm really happy that the Verbena rosia is up in flower now. Here's my tallest one, which I just think looks so magnificent at the moment. So I'm really pleased with how it's looking. I think it looks great. We can also see that my Achilia, which I believe is cloth of gold, is looking really beautiful here. This one is more sort of a pale kind of yellow, and I really love the combination of it with all these cosmos. Look at how much the cosmos are filling this flower bed. It is crazy. I'm so happy. I grew all of these from seed right at the start of the year, and they have impressed me so much. I of course have to keep on top of deadheading them all the time, but it's worth it. Honestly, it's 100% worth it to have these beautiful flowers filling this flower bed and weaving in and out. And it's a great combination, I feel, with this Achilia. So I'll have to show you the view from the front once I make my way over there, because it looks really good. But yeah, I'm loving the cosmos and all the Achilia at the moment. Now, the middle flower bed, which is directly in the center of my garden and kind of starts off this little pathway, I've done some big changes in here that I want to go over. So for a start, I do want to mention that a lot of things in this flower bed aren't looking amazing at the moment. For example, you might remember in my last video, I had these massive Salvia caridonas and astrantias and such, and they're not looking as good right now. And the reason for that is because obviously they went over, they started to die. So I gave them a good cut only a few days ago. So we're not really going to see the effect of that until the next tour. But yeah, I gave them a really good deadhead. I think I did it pretty well, you know, to encourage more new stems to come up. So whilst they will be a bit shorter in future, I'm hoping that we'll get another flush of flowers, and it does seem like it's coming up that way. So I just wanted to quickly address that. But I have done some really exciting things in this flower bed. For example, I did actually remove one of the cosmos plants. I do have this one flowering right now, which I'm really happy with. They're taking a while to flower though, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I really wanted to show this flower bed with all the cosmos in it, but that'll have to wait until the August tour. But still, they are flowering at the moment and looking really nice, and I can't wait for them to come up with more and more. So I did remove one, like I said, because the flower bed actually got too cramped and certain things were being covered up and weren't looking so nice. However, I have done some other changes. For example, I've added in some new types of grass. This really lovely one here. I'm sorry, I can't quite remember the name of this one, but it's a fairly low growing grass. Then I've got the sort of taller grasses in kind of a trifecta, as you can see here. So I'm really continuing on that sort of prairie-like scheme in this. You might also remember in my last tour that this Achilia was just coming into flower, Achilia plate of gold, and now it is looking so beautiful. Oh my goodness, that vibrant yellow gold color really stands out. It's been flowering basically since I made my last tour, and it just looks so good. It's definitely the star of this flower bed, and I have even more as well. I just love it so much, and paired with the grasses and such, I think it looks good. We also have some of this Perovskia blue spire in flower, which I have paired nicely with my GM Totally Tangerine and the Nepeta and such, and the Salvia caridona. And yeah, I just think this looks absolutely marvelous. And we've got some other variants, not variants, but we've got some other of the same plant throughout the garden that are even bigger, which I love. Also, GM Totally Tangerine, still flowering like crazy, new heads coming up all the time. So I'm really pleased about that. I really like how this flower bed is coming along. I've made lots of adjustments to it this year, and I feel like all of them are really starting to pay off, which is something that I'm so pleased about. If I kind of come over to where the grassy section of my garden is, you can see this cosmos, which is in flower. This one's doing really well. So again, I don't know why this one in the middle doesn't want to play ball, but this one is doing amazingly. I've even been deadheading it, and hopefully it'll continue coming up with beautiful flowers. We also have the beautiful Verbena bmpton, which I just think, I mean, come on, it's so good. I absolutely love how this one is looking. And then we have some more Salvia caridona. We also have some chives in flower right next to it. I just love some of these combinations. You know, the pinks and the purples are really the kind of main plants throughout my garden. I don't know why it's that way, but it is. We also have the Aringium in flower. Oh my goodness, look how many it's got. This is actually 2 plants. The other one unfortunately grew really strangely and kind of leans over, so I had to really support it. But yeah, it is back there. I love the blue coming through, and the pollinators also love this, which always surprises me because the plant is so spiky. I just love that blue and yellow combination back there. I just think there are some really nice combinations that I'm so pleased with. We also have the phlox coming up, lots of different types of phlox. This one is Phlox Blue Paradise, so I'm just waiting for that to come up bigger. I did do a Chelsea chop on it, which is why it's delayed in flowering, and I'm hoping that'll look good soon. In this border, we also have a absolutely giant verbascum. This one is so tall. It's way taller than me, and it just looks really majestic here next to the archway, so I absolutely love it. You know, This area of my garden is very chaotic. You can probably see so many different plants, but I'm happy that some things are coming up really nicely. Like the grasses are looking really good. There's so many different variants in here. We also have the Macedonian scabius weaving its way in and out, as you can probably see. We have some more cosmos plants and a really lovely astilbe. I believe this one is Erica. This one's either Erica or Venus. I'll check when I actually do the video, but yeah, it's a really great one. We've also got the Lythrum in flower. Got a few of those actually. This one is Blush, and yeah, I mean, there's so many different plants in here. It is a bit of a jumbled mess, but you know, that's kind of a cottage garden for you, isn't it? Let's go back to that middle border right at the front of my garden. Here you can see we do have another Lythrum. Again, I believe this is Blush, coming into flower right at the front. The Erigeron carvinskianus, still looking beautiful. I really love how they're looking. And look at this Adjuga. This one I think is Adjuga Obsidian. And look how it covers the edge of this path. That's exactly what I wanted. I think that's so good. And speaking of ground cover plants, we have this beautiful Viola, which is also sprawling all the way underneath this GM Totally Tangerine, which I think is so cool. Again, this GM Totally Tangerine is still coming up with new heads. What you do is once this is all spent, you go right to the bottom and snip it off, and it'll keep flowering because it's actually a sterile plant, which means it doesn't produce any seeds. So it'll just keep on coming up with more and more, which is absolutely fantastic. I also do want to mention, in my last tour, I showed off, I had a Geranium Rasen here. And I even showed off in that video, I think, that it wasn't doing so good. Unfortunately, it completely died. I don't know why. I kept on top of watering it. There's just something weird about this little corner area. Things just don't seem to like growing here. I don't know why that is. I've tried my best to improve the soil and make sure there's no rocks underneath. I really don't get it. But this is actually one of my seedlings of GM Lady Straffoden, which I do have a bigger one of. Over here is sort of a yellowy color, again to go with the yellow and blue theme. So I planted a little seedling down there, and here's hoping it'll actually grow and do well, because I want to have something in this corner, and I think a GM would fill out the ground nicely. You know, it's a good sort of ground cover kind of plant, even if the stems do get taller. Got lots of fun things here. Again, another one of those grasses that I showed off earlier. We do also have some Echinacea White Swan coming up, which is great. These are very, very little young plants, so, you know, gonna have to give them a bit of time, but hopefully they will come up and look really, really lovely. I also want to give a closer look at this Verbena rosia, because, oh, it's just so beautiful, and the pollinators absolutely love it. Moving along, I have unfortunately had to do a little cut back on my Salvia Bumble Sky, as you can see, but lots and lots of new heads are coming up on this now, which I'm excited about. It's always tricky to know just how much to cut back and such. It's really not easy. You know, there's probably a few on here that I could still cut back, but you just kind of have to play it by ear. It looks so good in my last video, and it's not quite as nice in this one, but I still think it looks okay. Also, let me just quickly move over and show you this beautiful butterfly enjoying the allium. I think it's like Saphiricalon. I can't pronounce things, I'm so sorry. I'll write the name though. You know, if I get any pronunciations wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm always happy to be corrected. Just don't be surprised if I do get things wrong, because I'm no expert. But yeah, these alliums are really gorgeous and beloved by the pollinators, as you can see. And I don't get why these aren't listed as summer bulbs. They're listed as spring bulbs, yet in my garden they came up in like June. So a bit strange, but what are you gonna do? They're fantastic. I'm really happy that they are flowering and that the pollinators are loving them. Now, here is my biggest and most beautiful Perovskia silver spire. Look how tall it is, look how glorious it is. Again, beloved by the pollinators. I just saw some beef, by the way, between a bee and a butterfly. That butterfly kicked the bee off. Maybe not such a nice butterfly. It's very beautiful though. Let me know what type that is. I'd love to know. Yeah, this whole section is really lovely. I've still got the Nautia arvensis in flower, which needs to be deadheaded basically 24/7, but it's worth it. It's really worth it for all the new buds and heads that come up. It's still got so many coming up, so I'm not exactly going to stop doing that when it's rewarding me with so many more. I don't think it's going to last too much longer though, because it is getting less and less, but I love the combination of that sort of blue color with this in the back. You know, the yellow and blue is one of those combinations that I love, as I've said 1,000 times in my videos. So I just think it works really well. This is kind of a really nice section of my garden that I just love. Definitely a good combination if you're looking for one. You've got the yellow plate of gold or cloth of gold. I need to figure out which one it actually is. You've got the Perovskia blue spire, you've got the Nautia, and then you've also got the Salvia Bumble Sky. A really great combination. There's just so much to show in this video. It's actually quite unbelievable. I hope you folks don't mind a really long tour. Loving the butterflies just going around. There's so many in the garden, to be honest with you. I'm really grateful for that. We've got a Lilac Beauty Achilia here, which I'm currently shading out, sorry. If we go back to that border, which is right at the front, you can see all the cosmos a bit better. I mean, look at that. Isn't that glorious? Doesn't that just look fantastic? I don't know about you, but I think that looks amazing. Something I'm so happy with. So yeah, really loving how this is all looking. We also have a Felicum Elimin, which is still in flower, but is kind of going over now. So just want to show it before it does disappear. Like I said, behind me, we've got this border, which leads over to the aviary. And look, so excitingly, we have Dahlias coming to flower. They are looking so beautiful. I love this really light pink colored one. I just think it looks really good. So I'm definitely looking forward to them all coming along, because I've got all these pots lined up in front of the aviary. Also got a hydrangea in flower, really nice white one. This isn't Annabelle though, so I need to figure out exactly what name it is. There's actually a lot of white plants over here. We've got this white Valerian, Centranthus ruber alba, and then we've got this beautiful white manada, which is like called, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, I'm just going to try and put it on screen if I can get the exact name. So yeah, it's a crazy one, but it's really cool. I love some of the white colors around here. I do like theming my borders around specific sort of colors. I think that works really well. Heading up this pathway, I've just got so much to show you. My Verbenas are in full flower this time, Verbena bonariansis. The butterflies absolutely love these. As you can see, they prefer these to my butterfly bush, the, what's it called? Buddleia? Yep, they much prefer Verbena to Buddleia in my experience. And I love the combination of this Verbena bonariansis with the Nautia in the back and the Macedonian scabius. They're really sort of simple plants in where they've got tall sort of stems that flower and kind of weave in and out of things. So yeah, I think that's really great. But genuinely, I've never seen so many butterflies in my garden. I probably have maybe about 20 kind of surrounding me in the garden right now, which I've never seen so many. So I'm really happy they're loving it. We have Salvia Purple Rain down there. And here's an area that I want to show you that might come as a bit of a shock. So you might remember in all my other tours, I had a giant sage here. This was where an absolutely massive sage was, which had been left in the border for a long time. I grew it from a tiny little plant into a massive one. And then I kind of kept it, even though it wasn't a perennial, I kept it because I kind of used it as a ground cover. Well, as you can see, I've gotten rid of it. The reason for that being, it was just going way out of control. It was covering the pathway so you couldn't actually walk. So it wasn't even covering in a nice way. And yeah, I mean, it didn't flower. It didn't really give anything interesting for the pollinators. So I decided it was time to get rid of it. I've replaced it with several beautiful perennials. We've got the lovely, this is Veronica Virginium alba. I'm going to put the correct name on screen, so don't worry. We've also got some lovely asters. This is Aster Little Ness, or Small Ness it's also known as, with beautiful pink flowers. And then of course a Rudbeckia gold stem at the front. So a combination that hopefully will fill out this area nicely. It is actually strange seeing it so empty because the sage literally filled this whole area, but I think it is much improved, and honestly I just can't wait for this to fill out and just look really nice. This border also has a lot of early flowering perennials, so adding these later flowering ones I feel like has really enhanced the border, and it's gotten me excited about what it can look like later on in the year. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm catching this on video in tour. Look, it's a hummingbird hawk moth. Do you see it? I'm really trying to focus on it. It's really hard, but look. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy I've got that. This has visited my garden a few times this year, but it's back. This is probably the best part of the tour. I'm so happy I got it. I'm sorry I can't focus on it, but this thing is incredibly fast. Hopefully I'll catch some focus shots of it. But yeah, amazing. I'm so happy I caught that in the video, even if it wasn't the most focused thing. Where next? Where next? We've got some Achilia summer wine in flower along this pathway, just in front of where the archway is. We've also got a manada in flower. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of this specific one. It's sort of a hot pinkish reddish color. It's really nice though, and again, the pollinators love it. There's so much in this back border to show you folks. Like, this back border, the prairie style border, is just filled with plants now, filled with flowers. It's looking so amazing. We've got the echinops, which are coming up crazily and actually looking blue now. I believe they were just starting to come up in the last one. So yeah, now they are absolutely crazy, and there are just so many of them within this border. We've got more of that giant yellow Achilia, which looks really good in this border. It's so tall and stands up really straight, which is nice. I don't even really have to stake it that much. We've got tons and tons of Verbena back here. We have the absolutely lovely Echinacea Magnus, which you can see the pollinators are going crazy for. We've got so many of them flowering throughout this border, which is great. We've got some more of the other plants that we have in other borders, like the Perovskia blue spire. I just want to quickly zoom around. You can just see how many butterflies are here right now. I mean, this is mental. This is unbelievable. I just actually can't believe how many butterflies are enjoying the garden. Like, so many different types as well. I'm really pleased with this, especially like the hummingbird hawk moth. That's made me really happy. I'm glad that they are getting something good out of this. We also have the Geranium Rasen, which is looking good. It's kind of filling up this little space. I will say this bit of the border doesn't look as nice right now, and the reason for that is I had to cut back my beautiful poppy because it just started going so horrible. It was yellowing and looking really nasty, so I cut it back, and my goal is for the Geranium Rasen to really fill that area out and, you know, cover up the sort of dead bit of the poppy. So hopefully that poppy will still come back next year. I didn't want to cut it back, but it really was looking not so good. So yeah, I definitely had to. Just another look at this part of the border. Got my giant Geranium Dreamland going through. Again, more beautiful echinaceas of that lovely pink color, and so many echinops. But I'm honestly just enthralled right now by the sheer amount of butterflies and bees and everything just here. You can see that hummingbird hawk moth flying around again as well. It's too quick to get on camera, but you might be able to see it. We've also got another manada coming up, which is called Elsies Lavender. As you can see, it's sort of a lavender color. Yeah, the lilac in flower again. Beautiful. I'm a bit overwhelmed with this tour. There's just so much to show off. It's actually making me realize how much the garden has come along, and I'm really happy. Got a really giant Hydrangea Annabelle back here because I didn't just want perennials. Like with that lilac, I wanted some shrubs as well to add interest. That's a bit more, you know, structural. So yeah, what else? The giant Rudbeckia Herbston, which is getting really tall. It's like 7-8 foot now. It's coming up with beautiful yellow flowers. It's a Rudbeckia, of course. It's going to look really great. We have the Buddleia, a white variant, really tall now. Tons of that Macedonian scabius over here. We've got some heleniums. I kind of know I seem like I'm rushing now, and I kind of am because the tour is getting pretty long, but I just want to show you off some of my favorites. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how everything is looking. I'm so happy. I love the fact that the pollinators are really enjoying the garden. I think that's been the highlight of this tour, doing this tour, is just realizing how many insects there are out here. So yeah, I'm going to conclude the tour there. I really hope you enjoyed coming along. I can't wait for August as well to show you just how much everything has developed. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will catch me for more in the future as well. And like I mentioned, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, as I'd really love to hit that 3,000 subscribers goal.